from Studio 44 in downtown Evansville. 44 News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. Welcome to 44 News at 9. I'm Chelsea Koerbler. Heather Good has the night off. Henderson police are investigating after a fatal crash on the Twin Bridges around 4 this afternoon. 70-year-old Jerry Taylor of Evansville was driving his motorcycle coming off the northbound bridge. Police say he lost control and went over the concrete barrier. EMS tried to revive him, but Taylor was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are still investigating, but police here in Evansville say they're monitoring an Eastside hotel where there is known criminal activity. Home Life Studios on Green River Road has required law enforcement on scene nearly 100 times in 2016. 44 News reporter Lauren Leslie spoke with police and has more in our top story. Lauren?
Chelsea, Evansville police say the Home Life Studios hotel is becoming a problem. Since the first of the year, there have been 80 law enforcement runs to the location. The crimes taking place at the Home Life Studios span everything from dealing narcotics to murder. Home Life Studios may be turning into a hot spot for illegal activity.
I do know a number of them that have actually rented rooms there, do some of their narcotics trade out of those rooms.
Evansville police have responded to the extended stay hotel 80 times in the past 6 months. EPD's narcotics investigators also keeping a close eye on the hotel and its clientele.
We have made a number of arrests out of there for illegal narcotics. We have conducted actual controlled buys from rooms out of there that our joint task force had been working on.
In March, dozens of officers were on scene to investigate a drug deal that turned deadly. Just last week, a woman says she was robbed outside of her hotel room. The hotel's reviews on websites like TripAdvisor tell consumers to stay away. Harry from Louisville, who identifies himself as a former prosecutor, writes, "This place should be avoided by families, non-smokers, and anyone without an arrest record." A group with EPD's Community Police Office are working together to draft an ordinance for problematic hotels. The group plans on bringing that ordinance here before City Council for approval. The ordinance is in its infancy, so in the meantime, EPD is using all its resources to deter crime.
We're doing is stepped up patrols. I can tell you at various times the Joint Task Force, which is our narcotics investigators, they will do details, undercover details, surveillance details there.
The message is simple for those conducting illegal activity out of the hotel.
Knock it off. We're going to come and get you. We'll find you. You may not always get caught today, tomorrow, next week, but ultimately, if you do commit criminal acts, it will catch up with you, and law enforcement will find you and will ensure that you're brought to justice.
Police add certain hotels in Evansville do attract a specific clientele. One of the biggest problems police have trying to control crime in that area deals with how transient the people are who come and go from Home Life Studios. Lauren Leslie, 44 News.
Lauren, thank you. One person is hospitalized following a crash in Princeton. Crews had to extricate the driver from the vehicle. The driver was then flown to an Evansville hospital. It was just a one-car crash. Injuries are unknown at this time. One man is behind bars following a police chase that began in Evansville and ended near the Illinois state line in Posey County. Zachary Young was arrested on charges of auto theft, criminal recklessness, and resisting law enforcement. According to the Posey County Sheriff's Office, Evansville police spotted a Young driving a 2000 Ford Windstar that was reported stolen on June 19th. Young led police on a chase through Posey County, where he eventually surrendered on the Wabash Memorial River Bridge. Young is being held in the Vanderburgh County Jail. Part of Evansville's west side is under a boil advisory tonight. Evansville Water and Sewer Utilities responded to a water main break in the 3500 block of Upper Mount Vernon Road this afternoon. The road had to be shut down after buckling from the pressure of the water. Crews were on scene clearing water from the line to begin repairing the break. We're told the line supplies water to much of the west side, promoting a precautionary boil advisory.
That advisory will last at least a couple of days until we get passing chlorination tests. They'll be advised when the advisory is lifted, but they just do need to take that precaution.
Water officials suggest boiling water for at least 1 minute before using. This Monday, expect delays along I-69 near the Seabury exit in Webster County. Transportation crews will begin removing concrete barriers along this northbound I-69 exit ramp to Kentucky 56. Once those are removed, crews will place a final asphalt surface on the ramp. They're also working to correct a landslide along the same exit ramp. The entire project could take 4 to 6 weeks. Police are investigating a fire that broke out in downtown Evansville, causing damage to several buildings. According to the Evansville Fire Department, the fire started on Main Street between 2nd and 3rd downtown. Officials believe it started in the abandoned building next to Twilight Bistro just before 6:30 Friday. Veterans shut down power to the area for about an hour while crews battled the flames.
Well, it was a very hot day out there today. Heat indices, some places over 105. And looking at those highs for the day, the hottest spot, Flora in at 97, 94 here in Evansville, 94 over in Owensboro, and 93 for Madisonville. And for your overnight hours, look for partly cloudy skies around 75 degrees. We're going to call it muggy out there for tonight, but there is a cool down coming up in our forecast, and I'll have the complete details in just a few minutes. Chelsea?
Thanks, Tracy. Carmi veteran and prisoner of war held captive for 5 years receives a helping hand on home renovations and repairs. Army veteran James Feaster was nominated by his friend to the House of Heroes. The organization grants veterans $10,000 worth of home renovations of their choice. For Feaster, he chose to redo some ceiling tiles and have his bathrooms remodeled.
It's probably the best feeling I've had in my entire life, besides being released from Vietnam in 1973. This has just been one experience that I'll never forget.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Feaster says this is the first time he's ever won anything. 44 News will be in Carmi July 6th when we take our 5 and 6 p.m. newscast on the road and into the community. You can catch us broadcasting live from Carmi White County High School on the football field. Kicking off Shriners Fest, thousands of people caught a glimpse of war life 70 years ago. A historic reenactment of World War II took place on the Evansville riverfront. Historic reenactors showed what war life was like during World War II and honored those veterans who served. 10,000 people were estimated to be at the event. One reenactor told 44 News its main purpose is to keep history alive for the younger generations.
It's easy to remember what happened last year or 2 years ago. It's hard to remember what happened 60 years ago or 70 years ago when America and its allies destroyed Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan and Imperial Italy.
One of the LST reenactors was taken to Deaconess for heat-related injuries. After the LST reenactment, more events continued on the water. With a water show doing flips, tricks, and twists, people showed off their skills on water jetpacks to thousands. Planes took to the sky on Evansville's riverfront after the water show for the air show. It featured several different planes ranging from a U.S. Air Force T-38 to a U.S. Navy A-4 Skyhawk. The FA-18 Super Hornets also put on a show. These are combat-ready aircraft, and that's part of the reason Shriners say they have one of the best air shows in the country.
It looked like they were doing some pretty cool things, drawing different shapes in the sky. So it's neat. Nationwide.
Pilots say their preparation for the show is diligent, paying attention to every detail. All routines the crowd sees are scripted. It's a sight you probably haven't seen before, people dining out on a bridge. Well, that happened right here in Evansville tonight. Bistro on the Bridge, hosted by Toast, was held to celebrate United Caring Services' 25 years of serving the homeless and near homeless community. 25% of the proceeds from the event will go back to United Caring Services, to services that help people rebuild their lives.
Proceeds from this event, like others, would go for services that help people regain their dignity and rebuild their lives. You know, we provide shelter and clothing, laundry, basic services to people who've just kind of fallen on hard times.
UCF will have an online benefit auction starting on June 28th. We'll have more information about that event on our website. Coming up on 44 News at 10, people across the United Kingdom wondering what comes next after voting to leave the European Union. The latest on the reaction next on 44 News at 10.